Hey guys, Kev here, and I want to do a first impression slash overview of the Miguron knives Velona. That's Velona, and this was loaned into the channel by Jared Neves. So big shout out to Neves Knives, appreciate it, dude. As always, he likes to send me stuff he thinks I would like that would work left-handed, that kind of stuff. And one thing I really like about the knives that Jared sends me is he kind of like, I'm pretty sure he thinks about it, and he's like, this is something that might be like outside of Kev's normal comfort zone, but like he might like it or he might appreciate it or whatever, right? And I do appreciate that because he doesn't just send like shit I would expect, if that makes sense. Doesn't mean I love every knife he sends, but I end up appreciating the fact that he sent it, if that makes sense. Like the Kaiser Horn, absolutely the most disgusting looking knife ever, but I can appreciate that knife for what it is. Excellent detent, right? And this is kind of a similar case. This is the Miguron Knives Velona. You guys know I had a pretty underwhelming experience with Miguron when I had the Pagos that I bought. It was $200 essentially, and it was just the the inlay was falling out, the glue didn't hold. I think the centering was a little bit off. The clip wiggled. Like there was just some issues with that knife. This knife, on the other hand, is pretty cool, guys. This comes in at $47.96 on their website right now. I just checked before I made this video. That's right. I actually did some research. $47.96. Now you're gonna pay through like Alibaba or something, I think it said, but I'm sure you could get this at like White Mountain Knives. If you can, check out and use my code Lefty10. You'll get 10% off your order and free shipping in the US. I think they sell Miguron stuff, so but $47.96 is pretty cool. The blade steel on this is DC53. Had to look that up too. I think Jared actually sent me like a chart. Basically it's like D2 on steroids. Like that's why it's coated, obviously, because it's a tool steel. It can rust easily. But essentially what I read, and correct, you can go read this too, and make sure you're getting your facts straight. I'm not an encyclopedia, but it seemed like what I read was it's like twice as tough as D2 and has slightly better edge retention, but is twice as tough, which is crazy, right? And then it wasn't like made for cutlery. Like it wasn't made for knives. It's made for like tools. It was that tool steel. It's made to make certain parts and things like that, for machinery and whatever. I just thought it was pretty cool that there's a steel that I've never heard of that's twice as tough as D2, yet otherwise pretty similar. And it doesn't mean I like it, because I don't like D2. I don't like non-stainless steels because I rust the shit out of them. It's just how it is. I can't do anything about it. Like I sent this knife, my EMP EDC Nimble. I actually have two of these, luckily. One's in my back pocket. I'm like reaching for it. And this one's got a dark stonewash, so it's PVD coated and then stonewashed. And God, do I like that on this knife. It looks good, and the fact that I have another one that's satin makes me not want to sell this and get a satin one, because that's what I would do if I had a knife that was just coated. I end up selling it to get a satin one if I really like the knife, because I just like satin, right? So I really like that I have that, so when I'm like going out for a walk or something where I'm going to sweat, like, and when I say walk, I mean like I walk for like an hour, like fast-paced kind of shit, you know what I mean? Not just like, hey, I'm going to stroll down the street. Even then I would sweat. Who am I kidding? I just put this in the pocket if I'm going to pick a nimble up. Might as well, because I can't rust it. Because I got this back the other day. Brad from Screaming Pirate EC had it, and KC from Knives Fast had it. They both live in the South. Guess what? Came back with no rust on it anywhere. And the problem on a knife like this is the fuller, the hole. Because what happens is they bead blast these areas, right? Because that's really the only kind of finish you can do to that. You can't really do a satin in there. You can't get the grinder, whatever the hell you use to do satin in there, right? So they always bead blast it. They do that on every knife that has a hole like this. I don't know if I've seen one different. But anyway, bead blasts rust so much easier than anything else, in my experience. And this is M390. Like, it's supposed to be a very corrosion-resistant steel. I have rusted the shit out of M390 fuller things because of that. S35, I've done the same thing. Like, my Slim Midi had that. It's just how it is. And I got this back. I carried it one freaking time in my back pocket. And I even put EDCI on it before I took that walk. Because I was like, you know what? I'm going to... And I got this one back today. So I didn't have this one when that happened. That was yesterday. I put EDCI on it before I left the house. And then I came back and I put the knife away or whatever. And then today I looked at it and I was like, motherfucker. You know, I had a few little rust spots in here. And granted, it's just surface rust. Like, I've never actually had it get bad enough that it pits, really. You might be able to see a couple of marks. That one might be pitting slightly. And sorry about my thumbs. I super glued them because that way it won't hurt when I drop knives on them. Yeah, so it's never really left any, like, residual effects or anything. But it's just super annoying, right? And I even do it to M390 with EDCI on it. That EDCI does nothing for me. People rave about that shit. I have never had it actually help me. It always, I put it on and I still get rust. And I've tried different ways of putting it on. Spray it on, wipe it right off. Spray it on, rub it in with my finger for a while. Let it sit a minute, wipe it off. I've tried so many things and it just doesn't work. Anyway. That was a freaking tangent about rusting. So I'm just not a fan of these tool steels, and they did it right. They coated it, right? This is a big knife. Sorry, I apologize again for going on a rampage there. I'm just going to grab a tape measure. I may grab a knife to compare to in a second. We can see. Let's see. There we go. So on the blade, we're talking 4 1/8 on the 4 1/8, damn. And then overall, you're talking 9 1/8. I think I'm getting that right. 9 1/8 or 9 1/16, whatever. I think that's actually correct. No, 9 1/16. Yeah, no, 1/8. Damn it, Kev. Jesus, 9 1/8. Sorry. Fuck me running. So it's a big ass boy, if you know what I mean. You know, almost 5 inches on the handle. So she big, you know, she big. I'm just gonna put this over here. It'll take me forever to do. Here is the Kunwu Tao. It's Loctiting, so I don't want to mess with it. Another sort of, you know, lesser known Chinese OEM. They kill it. Okay, they absolutely knock it out of the park. My experience with Miguron so far, but I've been hearing really good things from Jared and other people, so maybe the one I had was just bad, and that happens, you know? But anyway, this is a 3 1/2 inch blade on this guy, and a freaking full-size knife. I mean, I think it's 8 1/2 inches or 8 1/4. This guy is freaking way bigger, so you can tell right there, it's a friggin' huge knife. I'm gonna stop saying friggin'. Like a friggin' weirdo. Sorry. But yeah, so anyway, it's a big knife. Let's shut up now, Kev. Ergonomics are extremely comfortable. This is perfectly cut. I mean, you have a little bit of a cutout here and a little swoop here, and that's really it, you know. mean, if you have absolutely monster hands, they're going to fit in here. It's comfortable back. Like, I can hold it back here. It's almost just as comfortable as it is up here. You have no choil. I wouldn't even try. This is G10 steel liners. I mean, that's pretty good for sub $50. You're getting G10, DC 53. You're getting drop shut action. It's a liner lock, which is nice for lefties, but they didn't include a reversible clip. That's a pretty big miss for me there, Miguron, because again, it's a liner lock. All you had to do is make the clip reversible and then bang. I mean, you'd have almost an ambi knife, other than the fact that you got to slide the, lock this way instead of that way. That was kind of a missed opportunity, in my opinion. I do like the pivot collar here, a little brass pivot collar, bronze pivot collar. It's brass. There's your Miguron logo. We can take a quick zoomed in look at this knife. So there's your G10. It's nicely finished. It's not rough, but it's not like smooth. It's a good finish. If you're gonna have G10, I'd like it to be finished like this. Your screws there are countersunk and they're flush. They feel really good. Here's your Miguron logo. I like it. And then on this side, there's that brass pivot collar. There's your T8. Pretty sure it's T8. Almost looks like a T6, honestly. But I think it's just because the knife is so big. It's T8. Yep, T8 there. Damn, that could even be a T9. I got some wiggle there. Ah, those bastards. They went to T6 on the clip screws. That sucks. Let's open her up. Bang. You got this fuller that runs the length of that blade. Well, okay, it starts up here, but goes all the way down. I like that a lot, and you know why. And there you go. Pretty simple drop point, spear point type blade. It's a good-looking knife overall, right? It's just huge, and it's all blacked out, and that's just not my style. It's kind of tactical looking, right? It does have a flipper tab as well, which is jimped extremely well. It does look like it'd be pokey, right? But it's, I don't know, whatever they did, it works. You're not going to want to, like, shove your finger into it to push button it. Yeah, that kind of hurt. But if you're going to light switch it, it doesn't hurt. You don't really notice it or anything. It doesn't hurt. I just said that twice. Jesus. Yeah, and then you have the fuller, and you can bang that out. It feels really, really good on that fuller. You can flick it down lower if you feel like... So the detent on this is like a medium detent, which I think they nailed the detent on this knife. And centering is dead nuts. They nailed the detent on this knife. So you'll see here, if I go to flick, just break, bang. Just break the detent, it flies out and locks up. That's what I like to see. And on a 4-inch blade, that's impressive, right? Then you have the fuller, same thing. It catches your finger really well. It's got great, whatever you want to call it, finishing right here, chamfering, whatever. It's just finished really well. It's not sharp, but it catches your finger extremely well. You never feel like you're slipping off of that. And if you feel like the detent's too strong where you're at, you can slide your finger down lower, and the lower you go down, the less you need to pop the knife out, if that makes sense. It's just how it works. If I pull it down here, it's easier than doing it up here. It's just because you're that far away from the pivot. So if you wanted to just like bang with your ring finger, you could do that, and it's real easy. I could probably do it with my pinky, honestly, on this knife. See? Like, it's just freaking beautiful. Oh, come on. Sorry, I got caught on the wrong spot there. Actually kind of hurt, so I'm not going to do it again. But, okay. Ring finger. Anyway, if you're not under the camera being a weirdo, it works. So, I mean, you could do the 5-finger challenge on this guy. I guess minus the thumb. Well, see, I'm too high. It's good. I can't do it. All right, I'm going to cheat and do this. 5-finger challenge, baby. Yeah, so those are kind of my thoughts on this knife, the Velona. Would I buy one? Nope, I wouldn't buy one. Do I recommend it? Yeah, for 50 bucks, if you're into this stuff, Peter, Therapeutic Edge should be buying this. Oh wait, he's like the rep for Miguron or something. I don't know if he is or not, but he knows them, so he's handled this. Never mind. But yeah, this screams Peter because it's friggin' huge and it's all blacked out. It's tactical looking. Yeah. So anyway, thank you to Jared for letting me check this. Oh, by the way, titanium milled pocket clip for $47. Now that felt really tight. I'll be honest, I never pocketed this. Yeah, it's pretty damn tight. So you may need to bend that a little bit. That's an adjustment you can make. You don't feel it in hand, so it's a good clip in that sense. And it worked. It just is a little tight, you know. But again, not a knife that is something I want to carry or anything because it's just so huge and tactical and everything. But I see the appeal. So this is me being objective. Hey, who knew? So the Miguron Velona, guys, that is my overview of it. Let me know what you think. Is this a knife you would buy? I mean, you can go buy it right now, at least at this moment on October 18th. But yeah, I'd be interested to get your guys' thoughts because if you like big knives and you cannot lie, this is definitely a good one to get. So I love you guys. I hope you have an absolutely fantastic day, and I will catch you later.